Hey everyone, my name is Dylan Merrill. I'm going to do a little demo today to show you about the Axe DevTools linter and the VS Code linter plugin and how that can accelerate your accessible development. So let me share my screen. So you see my code over here. I've got a little recipe application that's written using React. You see my React code over here. And what I'm going to do today is I'm going to actually go and insert another button, which is going to be some help text within my settings page over here. And as I type that in, you'll see VS Code has put some little squiggly lines on that, indicating that there's something wrong with that. When I mouse over that, you'll see it says the button doesn't have discernible text. The button has an image inside of it with a question mark, and if I hover over that, you'll see that it says the image doesn't have an alternative text either. And so what has happened here is that as I've typed in, the Axe VS Code linter plugin has analyzed this for accessibility and determined that there's these problems. So clearly I can go and fix this. So if I put role equals none on this image, that'll fix, of course I'm going to type it incorrectly, that'll fix the problem with the image, but it won't fix the button problem because the button still doesn't have an accessible name. So clearly I can also go in and put instead of a role equals none, I put alt equals help text on this, and that'll fix both of them. Now, if you look closely, you'll notice that this button is a button with an uppercase B. And if you go to the top of the file, you'll see that this is actually being pulled in from our open source React component line we call Cauldron React. So how does the linter know that this B with an uppercase B is actually turning into a button? Well, the answer for that is that we've got a little configuration set up here which tells it those mappings. And this is something that you can set up yourself so that it can the linter can actually interpret your component library or reusable components such that you can ensure that if they're accessible, that they're also being used accessibly. So it's great for enforcing accessible use of an existing component library. So okay, that's great. That gives me a lot of help when I'm developing. Let's pretend that we're the sort of developer who either doesn't have this installed or is just going to ignore that, and we're going to make a pull request to commit this code. So I'm going to check what branch I'm on here. So I'm on the demo video branch. I'm going to take a look at my differences. So you can see the differences there where I've added that button text, and I'm going to commit this. Now I've actually got the pre-commit hook also for the linter setup here. So even though I'm going to commit this code, I'm going to say my feature is add help button. I'm going to use the -- no verify option because this is going to simulate not having anything on your machine to check for these sorts of issues. So I've committed that. I'm going to push it up. Of course, I need to spell push correctly. Push it up to GitHub. There we go. And now when I switch to GitHub, I can actually see in my GitHub project, the code has been added to this for this particular branch. So I can say compare and pull request, feature add help button, click my pull request. And what you'll notice down here in the GitHub actions is that the linter has started running. So it's about to start running. It's been queued up. And the linter doesn't take a lot of time because what it's only doing is it's linting only the files that have changed. And then within the files that have changed, it's only going to tell us about errors in the actual lines that we have added or we have changed. So this is a great way. It's what we call a set and forget way of ensuring that accessibility issues don't get into your project. Because once you've got the setup for your repository or for all the repositories in your organization, you don't have to worry that developers are going to forget to run it or whatever. It'll just run on every single pull request. So here you can see the linter has failed. And if we go up here and look at the file changes, you'll see that it's actually put comments into the files on the lines that have issues with the exact same errors that we saw inside the VS Code extension. So this is great because this lets the pull request reviewer, first of all, know that this has failed the linter, but then it can also give them and the developer the exact feedback on what the problem is. That allows them to go and then fix that and address that issue before the pull request ever gets accepted and the code gets merged into your repository. There's a lot of different integrations that we have. We have a command line interface. We have an integration with SonarQube, so you can pull this sort of information into your code quality dashboard. Check us out, www.deque.com, or go to docs.deque.com where you can actually see the linter docs for yourself. Thank you very much.